Hello, hello, hello. So, I am going to do a mod list. Okay. Now, this is basically the same as my old load order video. The only difference is I'm going to call it a mod list. I don't care if you follow my load order or if you follow someone else's, but I'm just going to show you the game that I've been playing on Crom to get to where we started the Dawnguard. Now, we started the Dawnguard at level 25, and I removed that mod at this time, and I've got it back on. The Dawnguard starts at level 40. That might glitch out Crom's game, but if I need to play Crom's game anymore, I will bring that mod back. But for now, I'm not using that. So in my game, this is just kind of lately this is what I've preferred. Okay. This is going to get changed up because I'm going to find some new mods and do a new load order for next month. But I couldn't do that right now. So anyway, so this mod list, okay. Of course, I use the unofficial Skyrim patch, right? And this is to delay Dragonborn. This delays Dragonborn until you actually kill Alduin. It's that simple. So until you kill Alduin and complete Dragon Slayer, this will not start, which makes perfect sense. There's no reason for this to start before you've even done the main quest line. This is based on your level, when to start the Dawnguard. Now, there is the one you can have it start at level 25, or there's this one which starts at level 40. I prefer the idea of level 40 because I think that in general, I'm going to say in general, because it depends on how focused you play. If you play extremely focused, I think you can do the main quest line and the Dragonborn quest line without starting the Dawnguard. However, can you get through the Civil War and everything also? I'm not sure if you can get through the Civil War too. You might be able to. Anyway, I'm trying to give myself as much time as possible. So I'm saying level 40, that gives me a lot of time. Because you can go through just the main quest line and get to kill Alduin. Now, this is based on the way I play, and you see how I am. I get distracted and I wander off, or I see a new cave or something and I go in and clear it out. So I'm not terribly focused, even though I say I'm more focused than the toaster. The toaster really gets distracted, but I do like to explore and goof around. But I think this gives you a chance to do most of the other things before this starts. Okay, and then if it does start, you can choose what you want to do from there. So this is Cathedral concept. This is the lightweight grass overhaul. Do they still have that in work in progress? They probably do. At least the last I saw it was. I really like this, and if you look in Crom's game in my playthroughs, you'll see that that's the grass I'm using. I like it, but I'm gonna look for a new grass mod just for fun. This is the landscape fixes. At first, I didn't think I would need this because this is such a new mod. I still needed it, so that's just life. So this appears to be a necessary evil pretty much all the time because it fixes your grass, where you get a lot of grass in places where in places where it shouldn't be, so it's not clipping up through your porches and different parts of your buildings and things. And I'm getting just a little dry. I'm gonna have a water. Hold on just a second. A little water. Apologize for that. Okay, so then it was fun. My tree experiment worked, which I liked. I did the cherry blossoms. Now, and putting it in this load order, the cherry blossoms basically replace most of your vanilla aspens. Okay, but then I used Gray's Dense Forest, which adds a lot of aspens, and it's very cool. And so then that gave me a mix of cherry blossoms and aspens, and then I used Divine Forest, which I think, is this the one? Let me look here. I don't know if it's this one or another one. Okay, no. This one This one just gives us, I think this just gives us some more trees and stuff in certain places. It just kind of fills out some forest areas. It's not very big. Matter of fact, none of this is very big. So, and it doesn't, for my purposes, I don't have any trouble running this. The one thing you might run into with the dense forest, Gray's dense forest, sometimes there are some underground aspens, which is kind of funny. Now, someone told me, I've not run into this myself, but someone told me that they had a time where the aspens blocked the entrance to something. They couldn't get in or out of something. I've not seen that. Now, it could happen. I'm not going to say it doesn't happen. I've just not seen it. I've not experienced that. I've used this quite a bit, but maybe they're going somewhere, or maybe they're thinking of something that I just am not. So anyway, I'm just going to throw that out there. I've not had a problem with it. Then I do the Autumn of Whiterun because I like the Autumn of Whiterun. Again, something I'm probably going to change up, but it's fun. I like the enhanced lights and FX, and I'm probably going to keep that one around. I don't know of anything else that really can take its place. If you know of something I should try that is similar, you can let me know. But I've noticed the effects of that, and it looks really good. Cathedral Weathers and Seasons, I really like it. I think it looks really nice. It has a lot more flexibility than you'll see me using, but I just like that look, and I like the fact that it gives me darker nights, but not like such extremely dark nights that I can't play. You know, if you've seen some of them that give you extremely dark nights, you know what I mean. Then there's this. This is just one of my favorites. I always keep it around. I like the moons and stuff in it. I could look at one of Sarcastic Dragon's other ones and try some different moons, but I just like these. So, I can't really say anything else about that. Display enhancements, I always use that. Even when I try to look at other things, I always come back to this. It's a quick, easy way to add some saturation or change some things. It's very simple. Free camera I use. Now, you could use this for a number of reasons, to take pictures and different things. I really just use it for the shows. Every now and then I will use it to take a picture where I've got them to like pose with their weapons drawn or something, just because I think that looks cool. I don't do a lot of pose mods, so you won't see that type of thing very much. Then I have amazing follower tweaks. For me, for my purposes, now I don't have any trouble with this follower mod, okay? Now some people have, and I can't say anything about that. If you're using different mods than me, you may experience different issues. So that makes sense, because everybody's probably using different mods than I am. So you're not going to do everything the way I do. There's people that do survival and people that do just a lot of different things in their game, So anyway, but I use amazing follower tweaks because to me, it's more detailed and it gives me more control on my followers if I want it. Now, I don't always make use of everything, but I do make use of what I want. And for the shows, it allows me to really look at a follower and see, do they really have, some specific perks and stuff, And you've seen me do that, and actually some of that was Raxinate's idea, but nonetheless, that's what I do. I think it's useful. Auto-equip shields to back is a new mod that we tried recently, and I say new to me. I really like it. I think I'm going to keep it. I could even use Lifelike Idols with it if I want, but Lifelike Idols is both good and bad in other ways as well. But I may go back to it at some point, and when I do, the shield won't be poking into their head, so I will feel better about that. But I do like this. My Home is Your Home is a very simple mod. It allows you to assign your followers to use your home or whatever home you want them to use. It's fine. It works well. Haven't had any issues with it. Tailors Measure, that's what allows me to change an NPC's outfit. It's not as detailed as one of the others that I did a show on recently, but it still works for me, and it's small and simple. And usually for me, small and simple is what I want in this case, because I'm just using this sometimes for certain things. Unique armors and weapons. This is good, and it has most of the unique armors and weapons so that you can create them. It doesn't have everything, but it has most. And of course, it doesn't affect any, mod stuff. This is the no friendly fire for amazing follower tweaks, just so your followers won't be fighting each other all the time, that kind of thing. This is free crafting. You don't have to have any perks or materials for all the vanilla items. It doesn't affect mod items at all, but if it's a vanilla item like a Dragonborn shield or is it Dragon Plate? Yeah, if it's Dragon Plate shield, or if it's Dragon Plate armor, or Dragon Scale armor, or Dragonborn sword, you can make all those. You don't have to have any ingredients. You don't have to have the perk. You can just make them right off the bat. Pardon me, sorry. Okay, so anyway, so that's a very handy mod. It's especially handy for our shows, but it's handy just for playing. It just makes it easier to play. Because I've gotten kind of odd. I really don't want to level my characters off crafting. So, because you can level your character off crafting, but I don't want that. I want my character to level through actually playing and killing and fighting. So what I do when I create a character is I max out their crafting abilities in the cheat room without giving them any credit, so they don't get any levels, and fill in those perks if I want to, which I usually do. But with this mod, you could start fresh, and if you wanted to do where you have to craft and build your own stuff and do all that, this would allow you to at least start the game off with some good vanilla armor. You could choose whatever you wanted and make it, and you would at least have that. They would give you a little bit of a bonus, I guess, or a perk, or a perk is not right. It would give you a little bit of a buff in starting your game, a little bit of an edge. So then Craftable Clothing. This allows you to craft most clothing. It does not allow you to craft all clothing, but most clothing. So that's really all I can tell you. It is very good. I say the reason it's not got all clothing is that I know that there's some clothing that you can't craft, and I just can't remember an example right now, but I know there is some. Like the Red Guard outfits, you can't craft that. You have to, you still have to get those from somewhere. Okay, no enchantment restrictions. As much as possible, it allows you to enchant your armor and your gloves and your boots with enchants that normally in the vanilla game you can't use. So it just so you still can't do weapon enchants, but the idea is to get rid of all those restrictions so that you can enchant your gear more the way you want to. One of the things I didn't like about Skyrim as compared to Oblivion is that they really took away too many things, and then they restricted you in too many ways, and they even got lazy and you don't even have pants and a top. Instead you just have a suit, and then you only had one ring versus two, and they acted like, oh, you were too OP with those extra enchants, and it's like, why do you care? I enjoyed playing your game to pieces. Why do you care if I was too OP? Obviously, I enjoyed it. I still want to go back and play Oblivion again. No reason except it would be fun. So that may happen. Anyway, so why they made some of the changes they made when they came to Skyrim, I don't know. I understand some of the changes they made. I mean, they had to make a place for the shout, though I I still really don't care that much about the shout ability. Not that you can't have some fun with it, you can, but it's really just basically another spell. I think I would have liked it better had we just kept the those abilities and spells on the bumpers, and you know, keep your weapons and your shield in your hands at all times rather than this, you know, equipping, unequipping thing. But you know, there's you know, I give some leeway there because there is some reasonableness. But you know, I really liked in Oblivion the fact that I could have my sword and my shield and I could still cast a fireball and not disarm myself, you know what I mean? So say what you will, but I thought that was a good idea, leaving it like that. But they changed that. Anyway, unlimited enchantments. This does change your perk tree. At the top of the perk tree, you have to fill in like 5 perks. But once you do, you can add. I haven't added everything, but it appears you can add almost everything to every item. Now, for your armor and stuff, if you do that, it means you can really over-enchant yourself like I have Crom. You can really add a lot of enchants to every piece of item. I mean, every piece of gear. It's a lot of fun, though, and it really makes you super OP. But if that's what you want, like if you want to be able to play and just go crazy, then it's fun. And it's fun anyway, so like, let's say, you know, the limit normally is 2 enchants. Well, what if you just like, you know, I would really like to just be able to put 3 enchants on each piece of gear. Well, this would allow you to do that. Or if I just want to I want to be able to mix it up, and I want to be able to put, you know, 5 enchants here and 4 here, and you know, it just allows you to do what you want to do. You can get crazy like I do, but you don't have to. Superhuman jumping is just that. You can jump 10 times as high. Now, it does not spare you from fall damage, so you do have to be careful. Make sure you're jumping up. Don't jump really high off a building, because when you come back down to the ground, you're going to be dropping farther than you jumped up, and it will most likely kill you. I have died that way. Okay? But it's a fun mod. You'll notice I use Superhuman Jumping all the time. Magical College of Winterhold, I just feel like this is how this should have always looked. Something like this. Very nice, very pretty, lots of cool stuff. It looks good. Unique Bridges of Skyrim. I just always loved this. I keep coming back to it. It just makes the bridges so much more interesting. You know, and it's not, these are not big mods, okay? These are fun. This mod, I think this is kind of big just for a candle. But I like the red candles better. I think there's one where you can do black candles too. But I like the red candles better. So, there you have it. Notice it is bigger than the Whiterun Overhaul. Which is hilarious. Almost 3 times the size. Or maybe it's more than 3 times the size. Hold on, I'm dry again. Sorry about that. So, as you know, I like the Whiterun, a city full of life. So I have that mod here. I've been using it since I did the show on it because I like it and I think it's fun, and I use it in combination with these other mods that I was showing you about, Autumn and Whiterun there, and these trees, and it really makes Whiterun look really cool with all that stuff. Now, I don't think, and I think I mentioned this, I don't think this is compatible with the Gardens of Whiterun, because they do very similar things. So I don't think you want to do that. Now, the only thing I can say, this is a tiny thing, okay? The only thing I can say about this mod is that it adds some little steps / ramps, which is kind of odd. So I really think I would remove those or not have those because they don't seem to really help. Matter of fact, I seem to see characters, NPCs, like the little girl getting stuck on them. So in that case, you know, I don't think you need those. I think everything is fine without those little steps and ramps and whatever you want to call them, boardwalks. I don't know what you want to call it. So I don't think you really need that. However, that's teeny tiny. It's not any big deal. It's just that I saw, you know, an NPC getting stuck on one. Now with the Autumn of Whiterun, I did forget to mention, it does add these lamp posts and lamps. There is a version without the lamps, and part of me might be tempted, or lanterns, it says no lanterns. So I might be tempted to try the no lanterns version, but that is primarily because John, one of the NPCs, likes to stand at that one post in the market, and they put, for some reason, they chose to put a lantern post right in front of him, which is kind of dumb. I don't know why they did that. They should have moved that off to the side or something, but whatever. It doesn't really seem to hurt anything. It just kind of looks silly if he's standing there and that lamp post is there. Lantern post, I should say. So, okay, so this is my favorite Breezeholm mod, because once you go in Breezeholm, it's all there. And it has a basement where you can do crafting. It has a little pool that serves no real purpose for me, but it's there if you want it. Maybe you could do pictures or something. I don't know. But anyway, and it just has a better layout. It's very nice, very pretty. Has a couple of mannequins and a little more display stuff. Not too much though. So it's like my favorite Breezeholm mod, I guess. So then there's Dawnstar, a city full of life. I liked it, just like I liked the Whiterun one. I'm not sure if I like it as good as the Whiterun one, and that's horrible for me to talk that way, but I do like it, so I kept it. So I just like it. Powerful Torch, I like this mod because I like to play with the, oops, I think I hit the mic. I like to play with the darker, I'm not playing with like super dark knights, but I am playing with some, you know, darker knights, and the torch comes in handy. Also, I have some dungeons in the Forgotten Dungeons. There's at least one that is so pitch black, you've got to have something. Alright, so Forgotten Dungeons and Easier Riders Dungeons. They add dungeons to your game. That's really all there is to it. Most of these are going to say Forgotten in the name. Not all. Some examples, if you look on their page over here. Some that don't say Forgotten. Secret Hideaway, Secret Sanctuary, Triple Way, Dwemerland, Bloodsucker Den, Necro Sanctuary, Wolf Valley, Dead Man Place. Those are some that do not say Forgotten. And that's not all of them. If you look down here, there's also White Skin Cave. There's a list of Solstheim dungeons, Blue Skin Hideout, Reaver Mine, and there's Deadland and Forgotten River. Oh, now, this is not in Solstheim. When you get down to Forgotten River Tomb, this is not in Solstheim. They probably need to add a little comment here to clear that up. But nonetheless, Forgotten River Tomb includes all these other dungeons below it. It is like dungeons within dungeons. It's really big. Forgotten River Tomb includes Deadland, Underneath Barrow. Oh, I moved the wrong thing. Sorry about that. Deadland, Underneath Barrow, Skeleton Sanctuary, Darkside Cave. It includes all of these. Westside Dungeon, Unknown Mine. It includes all of those. And actually, they gave you a good description here. There's not a lot else that you need to know. So, an Easier Riders Dungeon, it doesn't add as many dungeons, but it adds some nice dungeons. And I see, how many does it do now? Does it add 7 now? It was adding like 4 or 5, but I think it's added, yeah, it adds 7 now. And let's see, here they tell you which ones they are. And now they made their mod, they made this mod to sort of go with or complement Forgotten Dungeons with that in mind so that they would not conflict. So it's Let's see, is there anything else they say? My goal... Let's see. They used to have a note. Oh, all dungeons are now Radiant Quest enabled. That's good. I'm trying to see. There used to be a note on here that it would work with Forgotten Dungeons. Okay. I'm not seeing it now, but in the past, this mod said that it would work fine with Forgotten Dungeons. Oh wait, here we go. There we go. Fully compatible with both Forgotten Dungeons and Hammett's Dungeon Pack. Oh really, Hammett's Dungeon Pack? We should look into that. Hammett's Dungeon Pack. Well, I don't want to get distracted right now, but Hammett's Dungeon Pack. Hold on a second. I am going to get distracted right now. This is going to probably be a long video of me talking about these, but I want you to see the mod list. I'm just going to do Hammett. Oh. It mentions Hammett, but we don't have Hammett. Oh. Really? Well, that's too bad. Let's try Dungeon Pack. And then I'll move on. Anyway, I'm always interested in, you know, having more dungeons to go into, I think is a good way to go. I think I also added these to the Toasters game so she could enjoy that. Is this a Dungeon Pack? Not sure about that. So let's just see. Dungeons and Dragons. Fort Wolfhead. What is that? New town nestled in the deep wooded mountains of Western, across the way from Miko's shack, with a free player home. That's interesting. I don't know. Alright, I may have to go. I don't know. Not sure if I heard that correctly or not. Anyway, if I do, I'll just go and we'll finish this up later. Alright, so, The Wheels of Law. Oh, this is one of those. You know, we need to play through something like that for fun. I haven't done that. A portable home. Oh, a portable home. I like portable homes. I think they're fun. Don't know why that's a cheap version, but okay. Alright, so I guess we don't have Hammett's Dungeon Pack, so that's life. It's probably on PC or something. If anybody knows a way to get that ported or anything, let me know. That'd be cool. Always interested in more dungeons. Alright, so let's continue on. I got distracted again. Cheat room, I just can't live without it. You see me use it all the time. End of story. That's it. The goodies chest, the spawn any NPC thing. This is primarily... The goodies chest is just for fun, and my phone scared me. Sorry about that. It startled me. So it's just for fun. But the spawn any NPC thing, that actually helps with our shows sometimes if I need to see how somebody looks after an overhaul or a makeover or however you want to call that. So it can be useful, or it is useful. This modder makes a number of things that are fun to fool around with, but that's one thing that's fun. So if you ever feel like it, just before you get into all the goodies in the goodie chest and start playing around, make sure you do a good save, and then just go for it and break your game. It doesn't matter at that point. Just have a good time. It's hilarious. I've done it before. I've done a video on it, and I've forgotten what all's there, but it's some fun stuff. This is Lamppost of Skyrim. I don't have any problem with this mod. Somebody said something about they thought you should use something else, something newer, and maybe so. I like I said, I haven't really had any issues with it. Maybe they just think the newer ones look better. Maybe the newer ones fit certain other mods better. I don't know. But anyway, I don't have any issue with this, and I've been using it for quite a while. Crafting supplies all in one. This really just adds some chests and a sack. Is that what it is? I think it's 3 chests. No, let's see. It's 2 chests and a sack of food and a sack and a not a sack but like a apothecary pouch of ingredients. So is that right? I think that's correct. Anyway, to Whiterun. It's very small, and in these supply boxes or sacks or whatever, it contains, oh, here you go. This mod adds a chest near the forge in Whiterun that contains 1,000 of all smithing items. And then enchanting supplies. The mod adds a chest in Dragon's Reach that contains 1,000 of all soul gems. It also includes some other stuff so you can break them and get every enchantment in the game. Alchemy Supplies. It adds a satchel in Dragon's Reach that contains, I call it a apothecary satchel, 1,000 of all alchemy ingredients. Let's see, also includes recipes and stuff. And then Hearthfire Supplies. It adds enough of each material and items required to build your house and furnish it. It does not add a new chest, it simply adds the contents to the chest that's already there. Let's see, Dragonborn. This mod adds a chest near the smelter at the blacksmith in Ravenrock. This chest contains 1,000 of each item needed for smithing, alchemy, and the all-new staff enchanting in the Dragonborn. And then cooking supplies. So it does add that in Ravenrock, and I forgot about that. I hardly ever use that. Cooking supplies. This mod adds a sack to the Bannered Mare with 1,000 of each type of food, including fruit, vegetable, meat, wine. It includes the Hearthfire food items. And it also includes an ingredient salmon roe. So they don't mention that here, but it does. This is very handy. Usually what I do on my characters, I go just grab all that stuff, and then I can either stash it in whatever I consider to be my home, or around some forge or whatever I'm going to need to make stuff. So I think you probably will see me do that. If you haven't seen it already, if you've watched the Crom videos, there's one of those Crom videos. I go to the Riverwood Hideout and I stash all his stuff there. So Riverwood Hideout is just a convenient little, this is actually a good idea, a very good idea. It is just a convenient little place hidden near Riverwood where you have a little hideout. It has everything you need. It has a little bedroll, it has all the crafting stations, and it has a number of chests and barrels and different things for storage. It doesn't have any display cases. It's not anything fancy. It's not meant to be. But if you want to start your game roughing it, and you don't want to own a house right at the beginning of the game, or you don't own a house right at the beginning of the game, this gives you basically the effect of having a house. Okay, kind of like, I'm going to pop out for a moment, kind of like this Volforge. It's outdoors, so there's no loading. Now it's much smaller than Volforge. Okay, it's much smaller. It's just a teeny tiny place. If you do Volforge, which is also a good idea, and it's like 1 megabyte, whereas let me find the, which the Riverwood Hideout is very small. It's less than 10 kilobytes. I mean, you don't get a lot smaller than that, okay? And they crammed everything in here, and it's great. I think it's great. So it just gives you a little place to be able to stash your stuff and sleep and rough it. You know, pardon me, I'm so sorry. You don't have to have a big player home mod downloaded. You don't have to have really anything. You could just use this. Something like this, in a way, probably should have been a part of the vanilla game, but I guess I understand why it wasn't. But it just seems like something like that could have been a part of the vanilla game. Alright, so anyway, so Riverwood Hideout is just that. It's just a very good little player home area. And let's see. Then, okay, I'm still currently using the 7 base OPI armor replacer, okay? Am I going to stay with this? I don't know. I'm not using it in the Toasters game, but I'm still kind of looking for something. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the skimpy armors, but I don't want to just do all my shows, because then they all become about like the skimpy armor, which is okay, but that's not really what I have in mind. I really want my shows to be about whatever mods we're looking at. Anyway, you get the idea. I have done a lot of stuff with, you know, with the skimpy armor mods, and I'm going to continue to show those when they come out, because that's what we do. I mean, I try to show everything, but that comes out. But anyway, this is my current armor replacer. It's really not, it's just fitted to that body. It's really not anything super different. They never came back to work on this anymore, so I don't know if it'll ever get updated. Yeah, okay. It seems like it's a good mod. It seems decent. Everything works. It looks good. They say it has some clipping issues, but I haven't really seen that. So, okay. Armored Circlets. I just like having the armored circlets. It gives me an opportunity to have armored circlets that have armor. Nocturnal's Clothes, if for any reason I need to be able to make them, I can make them. It just adds them to the forge. This improves the blade stats, so the blade's armor is more like the Daedric armor, which makes more sense. The blades would not be, you know, they're supposed to be a premier force, and yet they have super wimpy armor, which never made any sense. Then you have craftable Elven light armor, and this also adds the ebony mail. It adds these to the forge so that you can make them. It doesn't really change them, but it does add them to the forge. This is a mod we're still working on. Jade is still going through all the amazing world of bikini armor, so I'll try to finish that up later. I forget where we've gotten to. I've done a few shows on it. Now that I've found the main hideaway room, I probably will be able to get through it a lot faster. This is just a favorite old armor of mine. It's not, I don't know. I like it. Like I have Jade wear it. I think it looks good. It's just something fun and different. Stark armors. This is some of the Nordwar UA armors that I like. I think that's a really good one there. Asker Sandrine is a nice, it's a piratey looking outfit for girls. You don't get the little, their picture here shows the girl like having a little funny cat hat or something. You don't get that, or maybe it's a cat girl, but anyway, nonetheless, you don't get that. The Chainmail is by Nordwar UA, and you'll see Crom using that in his playthrough, and I like that really good. And this is the King Armor by Nordwar UA again. It's very nice. This is from Kingport's Elven Chainmail, and I like that outfit really nice. So who have I got wearing that? I think I got Vera wearing one of the versions. There's like 3 versions, and I will tell you, this mod the heels do not clip into the floor. Just saying, they do not clip into the floor. It's a good example of how you do not do that, or how you do that. Meh, whichever. Anyway, this is Fancy Bows. This is a version that is not in work in progress. Now, it's the same mod basically as what Morgan Helsing put up. It's just Morgan Helsing left that in work in progress, and it's so buried down there that it's hard to find and get to. Whereas this one now, it's been released. You can make them at the forge, and it works fine. And this is like probably my favorite bow mod. Now, you may have something you like better, but nonetheless, we're talking about my game. You can talk about your game later. Katana crafting, I just really liked this. It adds a katana to all the different types of armors and weapons, and I like the idea of being able to have a katana. Nightingale Forever, I really like this sword and shield set, so I like these shields here. This one, do I like these shields as good as I like them though. I like these shields. The only one I've tried it, but it keeps looking goofy to me, is the oblong one, the one that's more egg shape and less round. I don't get into that one as much, but I have tried it. Pardon me, my goodness. Maybe I should get some more coffee. I feel like I'm going to fall asleep. But let's get through this. I'm sorry, I'm still getting dry too. Okay, this is something I haven't tried out yet. I was going to do a show on it, but I need to try it. I haven't had a chance to try it. Now, the Shadow Cloak Amulet. Okay, so this works, and it works pretty well. My only problem with this is that it functions according to the invisibility spell in Skyrim. But they don't have any other option, I don't think. But let me explain what I'm saying. If you go invisible, let's say you use the magic spell and you go invisible, the minute you open a door, loot anything, shoot anything, or do anything, almost any activity other than walk around, you lose your invisibility. It goes away. If you interact with anything in the game, you pop, you're visible. Now, that was true in Oblivion, so that was very aggravating and frustrating. Now, in Oblivion, we had the Chameleon Spell, though, and what I would do is I would get up to 100% Chameleon, which you'd have to enchant more than one piece of armor, but you could do that. And then that would make my character at 100% Chameleon. You're invisible. Nobody can see you ever. Well, except for the very weird hyper vigilant shopkeepers, okay? They always know and see you somehow, but that's different. For the most part, if you were 100% Chameleon, you were completely invisible, and you could interact with anything and do anything, and you would not become visible. So, the problem with the Shadow Cloak Amulet is the same problem with the invisibility spell. Everything you do, it breaks the spell. And if you take a potion that lasts a couple of minutes, and then you interact with a door, well, you've just wasted that potion, and you're visible. So, invisibility is extremely annoying. I'll probably drop this, but right now I didn't want to do that because Crom has that enchant on one piece of his armor. Pardon me. Wow, I am really, you wouldn't believe it, but I am really going crazy. Like I'm just, anyway. So the Shadow Cloak Amulet is a good mod, and it does what it's supposed to do, and it does allow you to turn invisible and stay invisible as long as you don't interact with anything. So it's definitely good. But it's limited to the invisibility that we have in Skyrim. I wish there was a way to bring over the Chameleon Spell and effects from Oblivion to Skyrim and have that kind of invisibility. That would truly be the best, so that you're like a shadow in the world, like you're a predator moving around and people don't even see you at all. Anyway, I talked about that for long enough, didn't I? Okay. So this is probably not going to hang around, but for now I don't want to take it out of Crom's game. Now, here is this sounds like this would be a problem or be conflicting, but here's the thing. Liyan Skyrim Npc Overhaul, it does overhaul most everybody. Not everybody, but most everybody. It makes most of the girls look good, and it makes most of the guys look really, really good. Now, my only problem with it is that it handles most of the girls, but most of the girls don't look as good as they do in Botox. So I decided for 200 megabytes I was going to try to test it and see how my guys would look. The guys look great, and the girls still have the Botox look. So you can use these two in combination. Now, I wish there was a version of this that only did the guys, because the way I'm going to say it's a he, it might have been a girl, I don't know. But the way the modder did the guys is great. They look great. They cleaned their faces up. They really made them look nice, and it really shows. The only exceptions are like the courier still has a nasty face. There might be some others I'm not remembering, but all the blacksmiths and everybody looks so much better. They don't look like they constantly got their face down in the dirt, which is stupid. So it just looks a lot better. So that's why I kept that, and I may keep that indefinitely, because I like my people to look like they're people and not like they're just, oh, I just came from the mud pit, or I just, got my face drugged through whatever, and I never take a bath and I never clean up, I mean, most people aren't that way. So anyway, nonetheless, so that's why I have that, and this makes the girls, this is still the best looking girls you can get on the Xbox for Skyrim. There is not a better mod. It's going to hit all the girls, period. There's not anybody it doesn't touch. Now, you may have other things that you prefer the look of, and you may use that, but it's not going to change everybody. It doesn't change the guards and everybody else. So, alright, so this is a simple mod down here. This is Mule Delinus weight adjustment. It just takes her from 75 to 100. It doesn't make a tremendous difference, but I don't know. It looks better to me. It makes more sense to me. Alright, so this is the Immersive Wenches, and we get into the Wenches mods. Immersive Wenches really adds to your ends. It adds the serving winches and things like that. And a lot of these can be, it also adds some vampires. It adds, to all your towns. And most of these can be followers, and some of these followers have some pretty powerful and unique spells, or at least they did in the old version. I've not tried them as much in the new version. But, so they're very, very good and very interesting. Then you have to have this mod for these other mods. Then you can have Judgement Winches, which I've talked about that some. The reason this mod is bigger than the others is that besides the winches, it also adds a significant amount of different items that they wear in the game, that they can wear. And there's different buffs that those items will give you, like carrying extra weight or whatever. Maybe being able to jump. Well, wait. No, I don't think it's jump. Sorry. No, not jump. It allows you to carry extra weight, improves your bow damage, it can improve your other damage as well. I've forgotten the name. Anyway, a lot of different things. Most of them improve your like carry weight, or I remember the bow damage. I think there's some other enchants too. I don't remember seeing one that does anything with jumping. That was a misspeak. Sorry. Sorry. Also, Hateful Winches and Deadly Winches are part of the Winches mods. Hateful Winches are the winches that spawn with the Draugr. Deadly Winches, they're just soldiers, vampires, forsworn, bandits, vigilants. They're all of those things. And they can be pretty tough. And then, Forgotten Winches. Now, Forgotten Winches is the smallest of the mods, but it also produces the most overwhelming foes. Because what can happen is, because the farmers have an ability so that when they die, they'll spawn a Forgotten Winch. Anyway, it's a cycle. It's a cycle. The farmer spawned them, they spawn farmer, they spawn bugs, and it's just a continuous cycle until you finally get everything killed. And it can turn into some really big fights. And I have had a couple of times where there were so many farmer added by another mod, and they all had this ability, and as I killed them, they brought out more girls, and the girls brought out more bugs, that I crashed my game. But it was the combination of the two mods. It was not just this mod. It was this mod interacting with another mod. So I don't remember which mod that was. I turned that mod off, and I think I ended up removing that mod, but it was really fun. Because Blackreach was like had an army of farmer, and every time I killed them and got into a fight with them, then they would produce all these bugs and everything. It was wild. Alright. So, that's the main thing with the Winches mods. Now, I did skip a few things. This is Ashar's Merchants in Inns. Merchants and Traders in Inns. It's a very good mod. This is Genesis. Now, this is your in dungeons. It helps repopulate your dungeons and give you some fun encounters. You know, maybe you've cleared a dungeon, but you go back to it for some reason, and now it's not empty. It's someone else has come in and taken up shop, and you have to fight them. Then there's the Populate dungeons and caves and ruins. This basically just adds some enemies in some places where there weren't any, but it made sense to have some. So, now this is the surface spawn for Genesis, so that while you're traveling around in Skyrim, let's say you're walking a long distance or something, every now and then it'll spawn some bandits to attack you, or something appropriate. Sometimes if it's nighttime, it might spawn some vampires or whatever. But it just makes things a little more interesting if you like to walk around and travel that way. Fast traveling will get you around it. You know, you won't even experience it if you fast travel a lot. But and I do fast travel depending on what I'm doing quite a bit. But at times I just want to go exploring and walking. And you might even remember a time or two during a show when we were just talking and looking at something that suddenly bandits spawned and attacked us, and it's because of that mod. So this is Tori. This is one of my favorite followers. I've been using her lately, and I used her for Crom's adventure. There's also some others by this mod author that are very good, and I need to go grab the latest version of the Red Sonja one and try that. These are some followers I have not tried. I need to do shows on them just to see what they are. I haven't really gotten around to it. This is an old, I say old, it's an older anyway, not too old, but it's a follower. This is a follower, Shaw, that I like really well. And then this creates the Jarl Elisif follower in the Blue Palace, and she sits down in the like reception area, or the, you know, at the front door, and you can enlist the Jarl Elisif to be your follower. This is KS Hairdos Light. That's your hair. This improves the vanilla hair, because some people in my game are still going to have vanilla hair. It's just the way it is. This is the Light Definitive Beauty Pack. As far as I know, it doesn't have anything that's wrong. It has some good stuff for your characters to help them look better. This is the new character editor all-in-one, and for the moment at least I'm keeping that, as long as it doesn't show me it has any real problem. It does some things I want to be able to do. Now it does do some things like adding horns to your head and stuff, and that's fine. I don't have anything against that, but I mean, that's not really what I'm most interested in, though you can have some fun with that. It also opens up a lot of other things and gives you some skin tones and hair colors that you may not otherwise have. This is Jade's preset, the green girl. I just like this preset for some reason. I just really like it, so I've just kept it and I use it. Like I always have at least one girl that's using that preset, and in this case it's Jade. Jade is using that. So better male presets, you know, like Crom, and sometimes, depending on who we're talking about, sometimes maybe, I think Cage uses one of these, and Porthos probably does use the Imperial version. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh wait, I think it says there isn't. This says that there isn't an Imperial version, so Porthos may just be an Imperial that I made, and I just like the way he came out. Alright. So this is the body replacer I'm using. I like the Chainmail bikini, and if I do the Red Sonya girl, that might be a lot of fun. So it'd be something to fool around with. Natural, I went back to natural eyes because the Iridum Beauty gave me an issue. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that mod in particular, but with the mods I have, it gave me an issue. So I'm not going to get into that, because once I found that it was causing the issue and that I could easily clear that up by removing it, I just removed it. So this is Tempered Skins for males. That's the texture I prefer for males, and it also includes, there's a line in here, where is it? Okay, so it includes, it comes with somebody's high poly body for males. So it comes with these things, and with scars, tint masks, and war paints. So there you go. So it comes with its own body, so you don't need to have a body for it. And then Beauties of Skyrim, this is for the females, the texture for them. That's my favorite skin texture for them. This is Divine Textures for creatures, and you'll notice my cows and stuff look a little better. Do they look great? They look better. The chickens look good. The goats do okay. The skeevers, I guess the skeevers are always so ugly. The rabbits and hares look okay. The saber cats, all these other things look pretty good. I don't really need to see better looking spiders, because the spiders are all ugly, but whatever, it's fine. So yeah, that's a good little thing. Now let's see, Divine Texture Pack Trees. Now this is a very good tree texture pack, and let me see if I can find this. I need to find the line. It's to try to help your trees look better, you know, and be, you know, kind of more dense, or have more look more full, you know, and complete. So let's see. So anyway, I like that. It gives them good bark and other stuff too. So anyway, we'll move on. because I couldn't find what I was looking for. Sorry, it took too long. So then there's this Divine Texturepack flowers. It's not too big. It really only covers, like, okay, it has the list here. It really only covers those items, but I like the way they look. The snowberry, the thistle, the lavender, the mountain flowers, the hanging moss, the nightshade, and all the mushrooms. All the mushrooms look... Matter of fact, the mushrooms are probably most of the reason that I like this mod. The mushrooms really look cool. They is this Tarshana's mod? Yeah. They made... let me make sure. I don't think this was ported. Well, hold on. Deathbell by Clyde. Dragon Tongue by somebody else. Other Plants by... Okay, so this is kind of a ported pack. So, okay, so maybe these weren't Tarshana's invention or whatever, but nonetheless. Anyway, these all look very cool. The mushrooms look very nice. I really like it. So, but there, it looks like those other modders actually made this, and Tarshana just kind of packaged this up. So Divine Wolves are nice. This makes you makes your wolves look better in the game. That's really all I ask for. Cathedral Water Overhaul. It makes your water look better. It keeps you from having all those little line breaks and stuff. Just seems to look really good and works really well for me. And then Skyland All-in-One. It's like my favorite big overhaul. I know, I'm going to do a new, like I said, I'm going to do a new game, and I'm probably going to do a new overhaul, but still. This is my favorite, and it's my favorite all-in-one like that, too. Someone had told me, or pointed out, that it did not touch the Dawn Guard things. I think they were specifically talking about like the Dawnguard Castle and maybe the Vampire Castle, but nonetheless, if it doesn't, it doesn't. I didn't really check that closely on those things. I just noticed that Skyrim really looked to me a lot better. So it depends on what you like, though. I really like it. But all right, so this is my world map, and this is clearing the so this is, like I said, this is my map. There wasn't really anything else to tell, even though I looked at it for a minute and I thought maybe there would be, but there's not. Let's see, it's by Ice Penguin, distributed by Chesco. All this does is clear the clouds. So, because, okay, I don't need a map that has clouds all over it. I understand when we first started playing the game, originally the first time through, it was kind of interesting, I guess, to open the map up. But after that, the interestingness kind of wore off. So I like this better. I like the way this map looks better. I mean, I would have been satisfied with a paper map like in Oblivion. Why they made the map the way they did in this game, I don't know. But this makes the game map a lot better, in my opinion. Just makes it usable, makes it really good. So, just saying. Alright, so this is my Serana-holic replacer. This is why Serana looks the way she does. It also replaces Valerica. This is my Elisif replacer. Now, by the way, this ends up affecting both Elisif and my follower Elisif, so they both end up looking like Takata, which is cool. And if you see Takata, Takata looks nice, and they end up looking nice. Uthgard Makeover. This is the only makeover I can find for Uthgard that really makes her look good. I mean, even the Bijin or Bijin or however you want to say it, Uthgard does not look good to me. Now, that's a personal preference thing, definitely. But to me, it doesn't look good. This is the best one I can find. I think this is by R. Smith 7. This is Mjall Facelift. This is the best facelift or makeover I can find for Mjall. Again, even the Bijin and all the others, Mjall just does not look good. Not in my opinion. So, that's my opinion. So, and those are the only two people that I really have trouble finding a good makeover for, and there's no point in downloading something that's hundreds of megabytes to just fix these two. So I decided just to find these little ones and use these, and these are perfectly satisfactory, and I think they work well. This is alternate start, live another life. I'm sure you're familiar with that. Just allows you to start your game in different ways. That's the XP32 skeleton. Always have this. You don't have to have the animations, you don't have to have this, but you should always have this, because if armors are animated, if you leave this out, the animation won't work. But if you leave this out, you can't even use the armor. This way you can use all the armor, and if you leave your animations off, then the animation just doesn't work. You'll never see it animated, but you can use the armor, and you'll still get that good appearance you're looking for. So you should just always use XP32. I mean it, really. You should. You should always use it. There is even another version that also seems to negate animation. But I've used this one for a long time, so I'm not going to change. This just enables your animations on the body. For the women, I don't see that it really does anything else. It does give you, well, that's not true. That's not fair, is it? It does give you that particular walk. The only bad thing about it is that it includes a spinny idle thing that people don't like. So, you know, if you get lifelike idols, or like I use the Fiona idol, that'll replace that. But other than that, it gives them the cool walk. I mean, if you don't like that, then definitely don't turn this on. But it gives them the cool walk if you want that. And anything else? Usually, I mean, you're either going to like it or not. So if you don't like it, just don't use this. If you don't use this, you won't have those animations at all, and you don't have to worry about it. It's totally not in your game. You won't need any sort of special animation thing at all, and you won't have to have the idle animation if you don't want it. You could actually use girly animations if you wanted. I didn't find that to be overly appealing either. I still found this to be most appealing to me. But if I wasn't going to use this, I probably wouldn't use the girly animations either. I would probably just let the vanilla animations stand. This is just a patch for Chaos Hairdo's Light, specifically. Again, for that size, is that patch really worthwhile? I did do a show on that, showing how that worked, and it does work, but I've debated whether or not to even keep that patch. But for now, I've had it for a long time, I'll keep it. Now this is R246's Concept XBR. I use this for Vera. Due to the new features it has, I don't use it for my other people that I made before this mod was created. So I'm probably going to wipe out and recreate all my people with this mod on, so that I don't have to turn it off and on, because I'm lazy and I don't want to turn it off and on. But I do, because I need to right now, because I don't want Porthos walking around with a girl's body, or something like that. So, but when I recreate my load order and my game and my people, I will have this turned on full time then, and I won't turn it off. I did drop out the aesthetic elves that I had used for a while. I'm just kind of not going to worry about that. This is a color patches remover. If you've played around enough with mods, you've probably seen the need for this, where you get those weird colored patches, and this removes them. Okay, so this is an addendum or an addition to the alternate start. I haven't tested this out, so I can't say that it works yet. I want to do a show on it, so coming in the future. This has the female orcs use whatever animation you have females using. In this case, it has them use the... Oh, it's right there. It has them use the same animation from here so that they walk like a female and not like a male. So, this just leave my eyes alone AFT. It just keeps AFT from messing up your vampire eyes. That's really it. Mainly Serana's eyes for my purposes, but truly I think any vampire it can affect. This is just a patch for EL, FX, and the Magical College of Winterhold. This is the Skyland all-in-one patch. This is just more females. It's supposed to help put more females in your game. That's really all it is. So that more of the vanilla people are females. But not all of them, but just more. You'll still have guys and stuff. This is the Fiona idol. It just has the girls stand there in that pose when they're idle. And I think it's fine. This is the Rich Merchants. This just has all the regular merchants in Skyrim have, I think it gives them basically, yeah, it gives them like 10,000 gold. So that way you have, it makes it easier for you to sell things. That's really all it is. It doesn't change anything else, but it does make it easier for you to sell things. Then I have these. I haven't tried these. These are for shows, and I haven't done them yet. So that is my whole mod list. I know this was a long time. I don't know how long I have sat here and just drawn on about this, but probably a very long time. So that is my whole mod list right now that I've been using for Crom's playthrough. Okay. I'm going to go now and I'm going to do a Fallout 4 mod list showing what I'm using and then showing what I'm building. I may also do a quick mod list just showing you what I made for the toaster, okay? Because I'll be on her machine, so it'd be easy enough to do, okay? Alright, well, I hope this is just somewhat informative, you know, fun for you, you know. That's really the whole intention. It's really not, it's not a big deal, but people always ask, so I'll continue to do a mod list every month, and I think that's what I'm going to call it, is just a mod list. That way people don't get the idea that I'm trying to push my load order logic. I'm not trying to push it at all. I don't care. Everybody can use and do whatever works for them the way they want, okay? Alright, so thanks for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I will catch you later.